Yama Ghana for yina kwaba na yensha kasebo no ase. Na utu mreka hia yen e wo Facebook no so a. Won so betime de wadwenkyere ni nyina so afa ho ama yen na ebre no so a. Ya bekenkan ama edom ene mpempem so atimi ate wonka yen kasebo no ase. Yen kasebo no ase a awrehosam a efri eye Rollins Park bia ya ye friend say Zongo Lane eba echirem say shops bi e won potam ho no mo a ye kasa ejabrantam atimi atomu a ama edwapade ali sika pinu a ana sabre atimi ahwere asese no ede eka ankasa anaba na amanebo no echirem ese eja no ehyiase kakra e wo shop baako na eno ana tenetene ye ekoduru shops ahodo a aka ye kasa no atimi amatrese wo katwitwiri de ebi atimi abapam na wobra awrehosam no etofom no wodum dadwumakuo ni fa e wo mpontam honom atimi bomoden ema wonom ho ye ha eba mpontam honom a womo atimi ebedum da no nanso amanebo ne kirem se womo bre papa ansana womo atimi edum da no a ye kasa de edwapade no efa no a ana atimi ahwede na Alex Ken Nate wono ana kasa edema wo my Ghana wodum dadwumakuo wone nsam trofo de nkomo akirem se wobra wo mukopie mu e wo fire scene hono fire service wo mo bre papa efri se baabi a eja no hyase ene baabi ana ahye kwakodro no na akire se ehia nimde pa nanso nyamiadom wo mutimi ehwei ama eja no wo mu etimi dom no na wo mo akirem se ahwehwemu guso a ekoso na mom de wo betimi agina so aka ama dom ene mpempem ate ene se eye gas bi anam se nipa ne bi di adwuma e wo shops hono mo a se nipa no ode no aduane so ode yedan na no ananam so asa wogya no etimi ebaye na busia obaye no Facebook no eso a ene ese ne eja no ensamoni a edie no ewo Rollins Park ewo Accra Central no obaye no Facebook no so a ene video no eda so a kire se enya sam ketwa we ye friend videos and pictures of Inogan wo hwenhwe ana we wani so a eyeye na wobra Alex Ken Nate wo kasa no emunsam enie.
Team at ministries arrived here. Upon arrival, they realized that it was an electrical fire involving the warehouse. The electrical fire? Yes. Apparently, it looks like to fight the fire, they had to get ECG to cut power supply to the area. But it took a while for the power to be cut. And you realize that when there's fire involving electricity, you just can't be pouring water on it because you stand the risk of electrocution or even. So our men had to wait on the ECG while trying to contain the fire. The problem is that accessibility was curtailed because even to the stairs leading to another floor is locked. It's fortified with burglar proofs and padlocks. So even to get access to cut the fire from spreading to other floors were curtailed because the padlocks and fortification was too much. So that's what delayed. And so we had to call on our rescue team to come. Also, if you realize the kind of materials in the generators, gas cylinders, and there was a lot of explosion. And right now we fear the building might collapse. So it's been a very tough fight, and until the fire is totally out, we are not going.
Ebusuani ayeti yi eye wopania ne di ede Alex Ken Nate wono ana kasa edema wo my Ghana odum dadwumakuo ana wo hawa hodo a firefighters ne fa mu ansana wo timi edum saja no wabomo enkomo akire ye no Facebook no video no eda so eye DLFM 106.9 yento akasebo no eso
yento akasebo no so ane yembo emfanwuremu ewa Cyber Security Authority for aso etwaniti aka ne se CSA omo akasa ede ene ensemode de ato Ghana de hye nyiranim se yanka yakoma mfanto ye mafiri se yankopo ya adoma afiwe tese ne mfimpim mienu ne adu ne yabato ya babeto no emu be ye da pare ne nyina ne se tese ne Cyber Security Authority for ne pa ede gu akwemu ebetimi aboban ede ama Electoral Commission se be ebetimi aboa na wonom sister won bedi dwuma wa afia bato mu no tese ne atamfu biara mobo ewura ba fontentan so etumi hake amanfo account no ebi entumi ensi wa afia abato mu na kwankyerafo ede my Cyber Security ne eye Dr. Abet Entwibosi akon ekire mu se ehu behia pa sa afia abato afe na afi so Cyber Security fo nje pa omo ye ne so mboban awa ba fontentan so nti no wombe koso ene yisi no ede nsa wo so hu kwan akodo a wombe fo so mbetumi aba omo moden ede nje pa de agu akon se na timi aboa na afi we yabato ya babeto no me nje pa begu akon se na timi ne yisi fo mfidi awodo me di dwuma no chese ne nipa bonfo bia ntumi mo emfa wura ba fontentan no so entimi kwaje wono account emfa mbo so openi akire mu se emana mo omo kwan so mbetumi aba omo moden na mo ne yisi no ede nsa wo so aba adwumaden ede abo na mpunto etimi akoye ede ma o Ghana Electoral Commission no afi nso kwan ahodo ya fa so di edwuma sa ba efo kwan so no niama etimi akoye pa otirem sa fu abato ne de Ghana fo nyina kan akoma fa ntom ze free say yisi fo mfidi awodom di dwuma ona se ne yodi betumi akwaye manipa bonfo bi antumi nya kwanya entumi emfa mbo emfa nwura yisi fo akache enkwadwo mfidi emfa moso ojemena kasaye emu enchiremu nie.
So thank you for the reminder. I think from our standpoint, with respect to the security of the electoral management body, which is the EC, we're working with them, and not just because of the elections. It's one of the institutions that has been designated as a critical information infrastructure. The law, Section 35 of the Cyber Security Act, mandate the authority to work with institutions whose critical dependency on digital services. So we're working on that. But of course, I think because we are in a very heightened state, therefore we have scaled up our assurance measures to ensure that the system that they are using to organize elections are quite secure. But of course, the human factor element is also important, and that is why the awareness creation.
Any awuti ye kwanchirefo penin edema cyber security authority for no Dr. Abet Enquires yako nene na wote ye na say enkrato we ene yankasa yamani boni Sammy Opoku ene to nkrai edesomo yen
yento akase bono so ewo DLFM 106.9 na yen Facebook no ye stream live ewo page no eso a ehon so eye DLFM 106.9 yento akase bono so na yakọ yanimu a dwumadie bi akoso ewo United Kingdom na etiripo na edaso no eye 41st Cambridge International Symposium on Economic Crime na ekoso ewo Jesus College ewo University of Cambridge United Kingdom wahiman krum na dwumadie no na ekoso no wo my Ghana wo so afo hwe atentene ne eso ene aban lawyer pani metire Attorney General and Minister for Justice Godfred Yebo Adame we kopie mu ewo dwumadie no ase na wabra wakasa na wo kire mu ese wade adesrade ebe free Ghana ede ama ewiase amampanifo nyina se braso se wo moto abasakwo mu na wo mokambo mu se ne be ya enipa bonfo a wo hyehye baby a edru mra bi ana watimede wa haw kese abewiase sikasam so no yetimi eto ase wo kirem se abrabo a yeboi ye obi ho no a ne de ene se ewiase ba hwiase na wono wanya sika aguni botom enu nti wo hye kokoam ana wo ka ne masi ani se ne be ya ewiase sikasam ebetimi ayeden na enam so no wo matimi afaso edi wo mo ebonye a wo mo pese wo mo edie enu nti ne Godfred Yebo Adame edi ato empanifo nyina enu se ebraso se ewiase nyina kabo mu na anyonkofa eda ewiase amampanifo nyina entem no wotimi emiemu pampe se ne be ya enipa bofo a ehye kokoamu na wodi boni etimidi nsunsuanso eba ewiase nyina so no yetimi apa wo ho entoma wokiremu a wosese sabotai ne betimi abamu a agese atemu adwuma no yemiemu pa ema se bi obi a wohye kokoamu na wodi boni na etimi ema ewiase sikasem eye cross border economic challenges no etimi ekonkane no yehwe na yetimi ma saamra no etimi edi wonom wode sansem wo nyina atuga ana wo kiremu ese enipa bi wo hono mu a ekwan ya wo fa so a wonya ndagapade wo be hwemu a wotimi se wonya dwuma papa bia nanso na agapade a wote so asset ya wokita no wo ba bia wonya edifreye ne nyina no ene se ase ewiase ama kwan ama bone ekoso ama sesi ano ema wode haw kese ana abeto ewiase nyina so enu nti ono de wo sere pa se ebraso se conference na wonom ekasa wase no entimenye nsunsuanso papa ewo wiase nyina so na entimi fa amanebo papa eni nsunsuanso papa nso entimi emra wobra Godfred Yebo Adame wo kasa no emunsam enie
deliver this keynote address, and this is my third occasion of doing so as Attorney General Mr.
DLFM 106.9
go to the chairman and co-chairman of the symposium, Mr. Saul Funke QC, and Professor Barry Ryder for putting together this event, which indeed has been a showpiece for leading figures in the fight against economic crime from around the world. The city of Cambridge has been most welcoming of us and traveling around the globe for this symposium, and we are grateful to the Lord Mayor and the Honorable Member of Parliament of Cambridge for creating and sustaining an atmosphere of warm hospitality for us all each year. When I consider the theme for this year's program, Suspects Assets, the importance of this forum as a solid platform for strengthening global cooperation among top actors in the campaign against economic crime in countries rich and poor, developed and underdeveloped, investor and recipient of foreign direct investment comes to the fore. The motivation for financial and economic crimes often is the acquisition of illicit wealth and securing of undue advantage. Thus, effectively identifying assets of suspects and recovering the proceeds of crime leaves the motive for such crimes in the band. Asset tracing is therefore the end game in my view in dealing with economic and financial crime. Apart from being simply unconscionable for perpetrators of economic crime to conceal.
Enia yeti ye Attorney General Emma wa Michael Ghana Yera Godfrey de Boadame what the sansem way nyina to the wabra na keynote address now what they to the 41st Cambridge International Symposium on the economic crime United Kingdom Montano so and sansem way etoda
Yantu akase bono so na yemmo emfanwure mu Frankatwini Edema Movement for Change Alan Kwadwo Sammy wakase kyerem se watena se adwene ho a huni se oman Ghana aso hwa ma ne boss wo no je Ministry of Information ne de o kyerem on se da hu sum faso o kyerem se ne aso ewe no aya se sese bora Ghana for moden no momoa no ne yakopɔ ya adom ne yato abai e de ma no na se ne 2024 be ma Ghana nyina ma mpani oba obebu atu agu ba bi kura afiri se oman Ghana sika e na yese no kwa odem se de tudwa e mra bɔ moden ni semsrefo ko ni hyiamu no kyerem se ehu behia pass be bisa ya ho nsem bisa na Ministry of Information na sa so hwe oman Ghana ma no boss wo do emfa so ban pa na oman Ghana yenya free sa asoye iso o kyerem se abadwumadi a wadi enkuto ho na sa asoye e ka ho nsem na so oman Ghana nsem o hwe oman Ghana mu ene ne ma ahodo a e wo oman Ghana mu de sa Ministry of Information no Ghana fo nya so mfa so bia every wo kyerem asika twitwi dia yatam e de ma sa asoye we no eso pa ye betumi sika akɔhye ba bia betumi ya boa manyuma atumi abu nkam so ma Ghana de hye titiri mebuna wọ́n mi nya adwuma yẹn atumi anya adwuma yẹn ba ne se na betem sika wei akwa hya so wei nsa wo man Ghana mu yenya so mfa so bia opani aka se kyerem se yankopɔ ya adom na Ghana fo mo gine tum na mu nsa no so mfa so nti yanto aba no fa ma ne pɛ oba ba mo de atabiri bulldozer ahodo akopia Ministry of Information ma dwiri nyina to agu ba bia firi se mfa so ba kumpo enya de wo so kra waka se kyerem se emfem pim dunkro ne adwotwem 1980 nim no no ankasa bɔ no ho maden eni mpanifo bi tena se eye hyehye pa hu ne se ne Information Ministry no behia private so oman Ghana ma no bɔ no ese nya so ebe betimi abɔ no ho modene edi ma akotem oman Ghana ne ma hodo ekoso oman mu nyina no yatimi ehun nsem hodo ekoso o kire me se mra mo hyehye ase edi san hyehye pane ba ye no aka ne kyese ne former minister no openya no odi ne dwuma ehye kyese aka ne omanpeni onya ne ba bi ekro me kire jeje Wallens na ban ase no totobi ka chi bɔ no ho modene agitu mu se na mo pa na wo matu no eso ni ye pa na so na wo kire mu se na de asere do wura faso bia no sinti Ghana fo nyina nte na chi nyanto aba no fa no ba pe Ministry of Information no bebu ato agu Alain Kwadwo Sammy nanum ensem ni
reducing size of government. I think it was still from TV3. Reducing the size of government, and you wanted to find out why the Ministry of Information is not part of our list of 40 ministries. What does the Ministry of Information do? What does the Ministry of Information? I'm not interested in a whole ministry talking about government projects and what does it do? You check all the matured economy. Have you heard any matured economy with the Minister for Information? No. So it's a waste pipe. That ministry does not add anything. I'm sorry, all my friends who are in the Ministry of Information, don't worry. I'll turn all of you into business people. You'll make more money than sitting in the, but because you see, the reason why I'm very confident, I talk confidently about these matters, because I've been around. In the early 80s, I was the leader of the team that did the first major restructuring of the Ministry of Information. I created the new structure of an Information Services Department, ISD. I remember when I was with MDPI, at that time we were responsible for all the major government project in terms of consulting. And I remember it was Toby Kwachi who took over at a point in time as me. And he always was commending me for the work that I did in the 80s.
Any awuti ye ayakofala badu kura nso de Frankatwini Edema Movement for Change amanyukuro no Alan Kwadwo Sammy dene na woti ye
Yentu akasiebo no so a na ye free Movement for Change ni akwa kopiem e the new force na wapani a wono so edi animu eye na Kwame bedi akon cheda enra ana wono so ne campaign wopa ho ntoma e won krapompone mantam na wabra wapani ejina simpie ni apaso a wakasa na wo kire mu ese wo mai Ghana nyankopon ebo ye no amoya bro wo mai ne pa ne nyina nanso ye nya akanie papa poor leadership ana ma Ghana ya tete ada ne kontebe wo kire mu a se nyankopon ya dom na ne nto aba wo bo no Ghana for tie no say abrantie babunu a wo wani so ade hunu na se de tumi ehye ne sase wono na Kwame bedi akocheda wo maye president e wo Ghana hanomo a wo se wo ma Ghana for mfinhye makomako edu 10 years wo be create enuma 8 million wo de atodwa akire mu ese wo hwe Ghana hanomo a chese eniema hodo Nyankopon de amayen mantam makomako edu 16 wo bia wo ne panka so nya ban papa bia any leader papa bianka emebu na wasa amantam ni nyina so no wo mani so ade hunu ebetimi abamu nenso akoye MPP NDC ana wo mato Ghana mebu no nyina sawram ana mantam akomako edunsia no nyina no wo mugu hokwa ana se bio wo ma no enhyeda hunu faso bia no a ewo wo mo eso wo de atodwa akirem se nyame yadom na se wo panima bosom da taso enso no Ghana fo de to me emanua wo behwe ama mantam akomako dunsia 16 regions ni nyina no wobehwe ama mfidinuma industries etimi akoho efiri se wono de wo wogidie se woye babunin sada no nso ewogidie ewo Ghana fo babunu mu se Ghana ni babunu enya piafo a wobetimi aye nam papa na wotirem se waye hwehwemu bi na research a waye no etere se Ghana hanomo wo hwe ensika kokko aye wo iron ore gas bauxite lithium diamond aye wo ene tere se ensasipa Nyankopon de amayen agricultural lands no a se wo kan nyina bomu na tere se Ghana yenya da paafo wo ka bomu a sika fam no eye 2.5 trillion US dollars nanso wo kirem se ensan se yentimenya aban papa eni se biopani a wo woni so ade hu na wo betimi aboa ama wo ba ade ne pa wo nyina no etimensa Ghana fo abrabo no eye wo hia ana sesia no empanifo de aso ayen na wo kiremu a Ghana fo nyina ntie no na wo munya gidie wonum se yede tumi no ama nkokorafo ama wo modi abura che ne bra so se babunu Ghana fo de tumi ma no na wono so etimi kire ne bobre ema wo ma Ghana edwapade ene ne pa ye wono eso etimi abamfa so ama yen na na Kwame bedi akocheda wo kasa no emunsem ne.
But with all the reserves, there's one thing that I would like to add, and I know we probably never thought of it. But why do we buy money? Why do we have to go to England or go to Switzerland, to Delarue, to print our money? And after we fly or ship the money before we have money? What happened to the industrial power that we're creating now? We are going to print money at home. We don't need to go to England or America to print money. We don't need to go anywhere else to go and buy food and bring it here. We don't need to pay 7 times the taxes of whatever that is already in our country and someone has just packaged it. We go and buy it for premium price and bring it back here. That stops. Because we are going to create it here. Now that we have more reserves, and have even cash reserves, what is next? Fellow Ghanaians, I like to say this. Pillar 5.
Any ayeti ye leader edema the new force Nana Kwame bedi akon cheda ana wode sansem we etu edwa na ne kasa mu no wasa de to aso echire mu ese ade ba ko a ebetimi ama 24-hour economy no etimi abamfa so industrialization efidiyuma enu nto echire mu a na ni so ade hunu pa se wo bayi Kwame Nkrumah ye bi nanso ye nya mamu papa nti wo matimi agu ni nyina tontofa nyamenya adom na so ba emfidiyuma hodo a etwa Ghana asia de ye aban de a aban aton de ye ankurankura de no so no ekofom no obeboa ama ne nyina no atimi anwane biem na afi no Ghana mabunu enso atimi anya so mfa so amo men yenso yetimi ani ama hodo agina to eba empuntoduma mu a.
But to be honest with you, a machine, a plant is the only thing that can give you jobs in 3 different shifts. 8 hours times 3 a day. That is what I call 24-hour economy. You need industrialization. Who sells Gary for 24 hours in Makola? The women in Kejetia and Kantamanto cannot work for 24 hours. It would take a factory, it would take a plant, a production line to give 3 shifts a day. No industrialization, no 24-hour economy. I have brought you your economic freedom. With all this potential, how do we connect our regions and transport the supply on the industrial scale? That takes you to pillar 2. We've just finishing with pillar 1. I can hear you.
Na enu wachiru Nana Kwame bedi akon cheda wo chire mu se ebire bi atwa mu na nka Ghana ye keteka kwan railways no na etimi ye adwuma ema keteke etimi de niema efiri nkran ekọ bolga ene ne mpotamo nanso enne ye de amamuo ahye amanyokuo bi a wo mu nhada anwene Ghana ho ama sese ye keteka kwan ni nyina etimi agu wo chire mu a nyamenya adom na se Ghana fo tie no na ne nsemu a wokan eto Ghana fo asom nasa Ghana edi to me ema wono na Kwame bedi akoche da wobehwe ama keteke akwan wasa building ni biem ama keteke etima ya adwuma biem na no betimi aboa ama se bi so oti kumase a wo betima be adwuma e won kran wote nkran wo betima koya adwuma ego kumase no asa aba wote kononwo wo betimi aba wote wasa krupon wo betimi aba wote kofodua wo betimi aba wose ano eba no sa no a eno mpo betimi aboa ama Ghana fo adehye wo mo ho etimi ahare wo mo na enani so ade hunu se wo ba 8,000 kilometers of railway network wo be build anase wo be saye ama Ghana keteke asa ye adwuma biem.
All for logistics. The railway network is part of our vision. Our vision is to develop a comprehensive railway network exceeding 8,000 kilometers. That is 1.5 million tons of steel. It will be very difficult to import this from outside. That's why we have our eyes on the iron ore in the Industrial Revolution, and some is in the eastern and some are other parts of Ghana. We will be able to manufacture our own steel and create that 8,000 kilometer railway track that will cost us billions of dollars if we have to give it out on contract. And connect and build the eastern corridor, the western corridor. And guess what? The gist of this vision is to also drive the railways to the 3 borders that faces Ghana. The one in Togo, the one in Burkina Faso, and the one to Ivory Coast. When it gets to the edge, we stop. That is us creating new transportation and logistical path and not remain on the colonial roads that was built for us. Now we're making our own paths to distribute our own goods. But when it gets to the border, the government of that country is responsible to continue. This is going to give us a railway and a speedway around West Africa. Once every country continues from there. Well, I'd like to tell you something. It's likely when we get to the border, Ghanaians will be contracted to continue the railway. Because guess what? We will have the steel, we will have the skills.
Any ayati ye ayanana Kwame bedi akonche da wono ana the new force movement no wodi animu. Enu a wobra na wo pa ne campaign ho ntoma e won kran pompune mantem no ana abrante Kwadwo we ya abrante
abrante mojamono pa
we ne friend say tie roba
wakasa o se wose asoafo no befa dumienu pe we de twese no mu de ne bia 12 apostles no bi no ba befa no na se be ya Ghana meburu no bi tie ne ho na asem no wo no
ha Ghana bebu no o wo taste makokra o
se kofitela akase na wo nim senka nana bedi akode nsem se betu dwa enkwankodi akurade onko achi kura
but on a more serious note on a more serious note yenye campaign ma obia but I think say Ghana over 64 no ya try wo mo ache ye hu no hwe what ma say na oman no ye nyina bro wo yetirim enti asempapa yempe
oh sa na tie
what ma say asempapa de yempe because one adenti Ghana ha ibusa say train do say ne wa wo behunu
oh minim
washi wo ba kra how many years ni
oh akomache won kana how
washi a train how many times
baby ya metashia bi no eye wokọ Cantamanto side wana railway line e de fa de konsan we mu no ehon de ehon pe na metashia bi
adano mefri kaneshi ba ana de etwam wo odona sek onio plan
no
Kwadwo entimi ka metimu no wogina ma train twam so na mi hu da na metena trotro no mbusa me ho se enti wo my Ghana pa when you friend train no se Kurobi so akokọ crowd ne tena train mu awnya dan won tenam na ne nyina tete apansam anaka be 2 say em say be 4 boxes
we coaches ne be 3 4 bi pani twetwe
your friend is saying
o mo kan
coach won nti aka coach ne makoma ko say 4
be 4 bi pani twetwe aso
ana sa peace na so e ba se crowd wa che no na dede huna wode ba
e bompa e say mpanifo hye bo say omokofa bi di abre ya na no ba ko
yiwani
egusu abi aba bi pie
yiwani
ye hwe ni mu a
yiwani e pa acha sa train wo hunu say wa hye bi say ya dwuma pen
o minyan hye bi
the year akofa free Poland aba no a ya painting red gold green but wo hunu say bi ya dwuma pen
e bia na e bia nche be hu
so obi ahu bia media mi hu bi but se bia obi ahu bi
hu bi nti ye hwe say bia nche be hu
enti mi busa sa enti when eye train no metisa boy bia pagya red flag bi na munyina na treba etwemu asa taxi kura wa che no na dede hunu bi we nipa gum
se wo bedro
nipa gum ye railway license nyina nipa atwa aton adi Ghana na so we dan Africa na Senegal for dia me bɔ me nsama Senegal for nye na omapa makisa no ama young boy na abai omu hwe mpuntu yanko Kwadwo
oko yanto akase bɔ no so ne yɛmɔmfa nwura mu ɛwɔ fifi mantanum na electoral director edema adwumako enyan esiam ɛyɛ jezenie mensin no ɛyɛ maame a ne din de Eunice Bonzi wakasa kyerɛ mu sɛ afi we mu ankasa mpo enya semkuma ono ankasa ɛyɛ dudu a wakɔpa wa adwumako enyan esiam potem onya yi ketwa maame tumi tuntuma gum ɛkɔtena yi ase hwɛ enipa dodo a yɛsie wɔ no mu afi we mu anya nipa kuma akra o kyerɛ mu sɛ ma wɔ maden abia bato ngom de to honom sa de hyɛm na bedi adanse sɛ mede hye wɔ nti yenyi ne yiri ne din fanfi abato no mu a edibe makomako enum pɛ ene bedi adanse mezi amekese no enupa num pɛ no matuma yi wɔ muden edi afri abato no kyerɛ mu sɛ enti adwumako enyan sa na mote enti yi be ba mianka sampo mako wɔ potem ha ne mu eburu bɛ de zene dunum enipa num pɛ no mutumi do mo adanse na bɛ zene dodo na aka no ɔno mo fa hefa o kyerɛ mu odi ya opan abizo akasa kyerɛ mu sɛ afu abato ɔmo bɔ moden ne kyehye pa de agu akwa mu nti Ghana fo nyina yanka akoma mfanto yim na bato we ne bibia beto din afi so da afutuo pa de ma de sha wono mo adwumako enyan district ni ma kyerem sɛ afi bia so ne yeto aba wo be na seka atwe na tutuo no kyerem sɛ afi we mebi nsi efiri sɛ hyehye pom de agu akwa betimi abo ma yisi aba moden de susan so pa de abante no Ghana fo nyina enter electoral commission na chi efiri sɛ so wono be so man Ghana afi we mu no enye so mpanti ye mo moden sɛ hyehye ahodo a efa jese electoral commission fo ene abato nhye no nyina ye nisu ntumi moa ne afia bato we no enya asomdwo agyeman samsefo kasaye emu enkyere mu nie
ena de eto asa ye wie na nse aye exhibition ono na ye bi ekratem mo bia behwe ni din na ye adwuma na mfunso betimi aba ho nti na ye bi ekratem se so behwe na odini ya spelling ya na wa ma ya so ate transfer of data so into obi din so betimi efrim ye can omission of name into behwe na odi so ni ma we file inclusion na edi wakem ana obetimi behwe na odwin se obi to area and our community no nya ndi 18 but wanya ne ho abewura register nem so a wo kwanye se obe object to the name na yeyi na free na obi to community ni but wa be register na obetimi aba na wa be object ono na yeye na nse a e mi say muti dede kakra but ne kwan so no for us to get a credible register no e che say ye bie mu no e che say omba na ombe ka che say weni shedan ye nti ye ni say at the end of the day no na ina anya credible register even ya makwanya ni say omo mewu so no for us to get a credible register no nanka ye na ye mbra na ye mbeyi adofo na ewu no every register nim by objecting to their name
eni a wuti ye eye kwankyerefo pani a ono ne gina mu edema electoral commission no ewa adwumako enyan esiam eye district nim ne den ede Eunice Bonzi ne na wuti ye eno akina kwankyerefo pani ade National Commission for Civic Education eternity a eka ne se NCCE openia ne den ede Anthony Ransford Kofi ono so bo moden ehyehyɛ gyesene peaceful workshop ede man political parties NMC for ono mo adwumako enyan mensiri nyina mu kyekye wono mo se ehu behia pass afu abato no beka bom na motumi abo asomdwem de wonatimi abo na basabase ahodo a ekoso mpotem ono wonom atimi etuase firi se abato na babeto na asomdwem ko ani senti womo woden kasa na mpotem ofo nyina nyentum no mo hunu se abato na yekoto no ya asomdwem kuto na Ghana fo nyina ehia
ye pilot project election year bia no ebaso na ebaso a ye pese constituency bia no NCC e body a constitution no ma ye ho kwan article 231 na FA chapter 19 of the 1992 constitution no e ma ye kwan se ye mo asomdwe ho dawuru na e ma asomdwe so enye den emra enti abato no duru se ya ye form committee bia ye friend interparty dialogue committee RPDC botaye ne se won a eka bia wom a ye frɛ won stakeholders no a wo constituency nyina no bɛka won ho abom ye wo security ye wo electoral commission ye wo commission on human rights ye wo NCC no aka ho nananom ka ho youth groups sɛnea ene ye hia ha no ene no ye hia ye no na kyɛ sɛ all those stakeholders nyina no nyina ye tumi hia to adwene kwan a ye bɛfa so a asomdwe ansa ne ye bɛto aba no abato ne brem na yeto aba ne wie a yebɛbɔ asomdwe ho dawuro ama obia no etumanya na asomdwe na abato a yekoto no emfa ntawantawa ne metu makao ne menteme ho asibia no emma constituency no hospitals dɔɔso yɛka hospitals a baabi a ɛyɛ a ɔhaw bi taa sisie ɛwɔ abatoɔ mu ɛdɔɔso na ɛno na yɛbɔ mpaeɛ sɛ afii no saa committee a yɛatie no yɛbɛbɔ mmɔden ne yɛayɛ adwuma yie.
Any awuti National Commission for Civic Education. One anam senior wajremu Edma Desha one more Jumako Enyan Isiam Eye Mensin Emu Anthony Ransford Kofi Nene and Awati Yanon. And wachi and an Sufu Mujinamu Edma Munyukwa Hodwa. One more Jumako Enyan Isiam Mensin Munina Jemanis and Joffa Cassette say. And the tail now can a babu upon my day Abbas Mujehu de Mutu Munium for say. Tokwa hodwa ye kwaso mpotemo no mama de anse ombeyi na kwafiri sa afia bato we no ye nyina ye confirm us nyina ntumi mo na my Ghana nchekere ntumi enko nanem.
We are so much happy in the sense that we have only one Ghana, and the assemblies with Ghana CCA and say, "War is into question. How many people have money to travel to other countries? This is the only country that we have. So we are not happy for our district to be called a flashpoint. Anytime you about elections, we have nipa nipa obey. So I am so much happy. But nature I'm happy there. All political parties and reps or hadi. Whatever that we discuss at this place will be at the bottom of the na kwayen yankofa kasakase yipa na yetwonfo mo beya previous elections are mosisin onsibio nteda na meka
Adisamenkum chairman CPP ejuma kwayen na siam ene de men ajipa de NCC wa friend de yembre na yemodwendwen abatu ya abatu usane yin na yepa asonje empe basabasa usane Ghana yin na yema yin ba bia akọ nti yepede aba yebotu obi biara yin abotar na baby a wono to wabako mema to koba biara mba basabasa biara obi biara no obaba begesi obadam sa na Ghana yendinu akwachi
Any awuti ye aye oman Ghana mo yen amanyoku ahodo ne nyina nam sifo a wonom ewo adwumako enyan esiam mensenenam wonom ene na wuti ye
yento awia pram to breka se bo no eso na yenko Facebook no so ne kan Ghana fo adwempo no ebi na piaga ana wode efri achemo asafo aba ewo poye mantemo no sisese pressure aba ndisi fo no so pa ana Kofi Agyeman black man was we take as bo no ehwe life edi free pig farm ewo Enquires na set antobam ana wode aba was say okay was it still 24-hour economy is coming live okay yeah that's it ana John Baba Mustafa Sogi was say Okogyeabour in fact we news no any more news no dem papa e wo Cape Coast out na was say wo mo biemu e wo Manest Royal Hotel e wo Ekwan na was say news no edem wone management ni nyina manager Sammy operations manager Mr Dazi and was say news no edem nti achia mu nyina e wo Manest Royal Hotel e wo Cape Coast na Josephine Agyeman and was say hello daddy Okogyeabour mo was the news is loud and clear. The news is sweet like wanam. Eh rather we be dana. Ana mo yadase baby odia fakojo. Say ya we nyina na so say ya
obetu ahwe.
Obehu anakum.
Yo.
Enti Josephine mo yadase pa baby odi free body wan fama but me sure say madina ho mo ana Robert Gameli baby odi afade ene de me moso da me moso da Robert Gameli me moso na Kofi Parliament was say omen se obi antimi anya na afam de na Ghana antimi anya ya obi ntimi mfiri baby e maye Ghana ye e maye da enu nti omen ye nyina ye nwene wo man ho nkane DLFM number 1 ana Richard Brenim and was say let's vote for cheddar yada ase papa and so any message me ento akase bo no so na yen kwansan fufuro mu a na wotwe atwa mo no ana finance minister honorable Dr. Mohammed Amin Adams anta wode betu da na wotire mu ese esan wo pebranta mu a esie e wo tifedo ene ne mpota mu asese akuafo etie mu e wo honte no wo besre pa se emra se bedwafo no ema ne kwan approval na wo my Ghana ye contingency fund no one fan in San Kobom se kabo na 500 million Ghana cedis no one fan in Sa enkoka na wontime emfemo a ema wo pebranta mo a ekoso e watifedo ene ne mpota no wo mo emfa emo ho bra na wo bra wo de sansam no etu dwa no ana se wuduru emra se bedwafi a ɛyɛ deputy ranking member a wɔsan ɛyɛ mmarahyɛ bedwani ɛwɔ Bia East ne din ɛde honorable Richard Champon wɔde to dwana wɔkyerɛ m sɛ finance minister wɔn hu deɛ sɛ sika na wɔpɛ no wɔde kwakɔyɛ efiri sɛ 2023 budget no wohwɛ agric ministry wɔn budget anase sika yɛ allocate de ma wɔn no a na saa drought spell na ne nyina bi ewom ɛnu nti aba ne san ana budget no yɛde nkan atwa sika ma mo na afei sɛ wɔpɛ brantam na timi aba wo sa bɛka sɛ yɛma mo kwan na mo nkoyi contingent 100 million Ghana cedis wɔkyerɛm sɛ yɛntimi ɛmfa ɛma mo efiri sɛ sika no yenim botae potia mo de kwakɔyɛ efiri sɛ budget no de nkan abɔ saa nneɛma wɔ nyina ho bradada a sɛ ɔpɛsi a budget no ɛka ho asɛm ho sika no yɛde ama agric ministry ɛno nti sɛ wo sa bɛgyina mmɔnten so ka sɛ ɛmmarahye badwafoɔ ɛnsamfa 500 million Ghana cedis ɛmfama wo a wɔso adwene ho a wɔnte aseɛ wɔbrɛ a wɔkasa no ɛmu nsɛm nie.
But the question is, just go to the 2023 budget. The ministry told us that they are importing a drought resilient seeds to deal with this very issue that we are talking about. So the question is, what happened to those seeds that they procure? Did they give those seeds to the farmers? If they did, why is it that they are now complaining about drought in the 5 northern regions? So meaning there's no clarity in respect of what the minister is calling on us to do. Another issue is many people have suffered sin. Like the spillage of the Bagui Dam, people have lost their farmlands, they've lost their investment and the rest. What are we doing to also save that situation? Are we going to also add these people to the list that they are going to bring to Parliament, or how are they going to manage it? So the information around it is so sketchy and there's no transparency in respect of the request of the 500 million. So they have to provide us with a list. We will get to know the details if indeed those people qualify for this kind of support, because they are saying they are going to give them tools, they are going to give them farm input and cash transfer. That's what the problem is. We all know what happened with the COVID-19 fund, how they gave to the parliamentary candidate, party officials, they check the money and say there is no tomorrow.
Any IAT a deputy ranking member, I was saying a young Rashebegani, Ewa Bia East. Menseno emu haya honorable Richard Champon, and I will be finance minister say, Sikano, aban wedding kind, Eddie Abba budget team, ama ya approve the amamo. And unti adenti and a contingency fund no. Wopasi asama Okran finance minister 500 million Ghana cedis. Wosado nsako boom. Na munim sawa hawe nyina beba. Ana COVID-19 sikaba ya mochiche say biscuit edema party ma. As if said there is no tomorrow. Ono ane bro funya na mekan enti emunsam ana watie no. Na nana adwene pa hene wodi asempa a wotoso mienu. Ana osi great news by all standard. Na efuto odi atato ne se Ghana about one ye hia somdue. Sene beya wo ma Ghana ye betimi akoye nim. Enu nti waka kire Ghana ni bebia se December 7 no sa woto abawia na wakofi akoda. Wote se ye bobo a na watie DLFM 106.9. If you ha no mo de beto form ye de bebrel. Ana osi news no loud and clear. Communications Hills. Communication Hills Estate. Eno wo hefa. Wo di asempa no no. Enti abusua ye gina we so. Na ya di aboafo enkrato ye ba de aka kire bia nso ye de ebesomo. Jack, makwako hunu New Lucky Electricals. Na wura mu a eniema ewo ho no esia brochire wo niema hodo bi te se cables, main switch, ceiling fan, switch and sockets, lights no so wo chandeliers, floodlight, street light, spot light, surface light, any lights ahodo PVC pipes, trunkings, any breakers. Ni nyina bi ewo New Lucky Electricals. New Lucky Electricals, wholesaling and retailing. Na sa wo pe ba konso a obetimi abowrem. Eno nti samoye companies, wo ye fiera, anasa moye contractors. Na mo pe enkane ahodo ene electrical cables ade adi mudwuma de. Fo ani kirem New Lucky Electrical. Wo ye delivery service. Eno nti ba bia wo bia no, ye betimi de niam no abrel. Na dodo a wo beto no so, ne discount a ye de echewo. Wo branches ahodo pi. Accra Central, or Opera Square, or Ben Wisconsin International University, North Legon, womo any DLFM, ana eye opposite West London, so wo Simabriu Fashion, Echihope, Achimota New Station, New Lucky Electrical, Eben Shell Filling Station, no, wo betimi a friend number 0559 37 17 63. Esa ye WhatsApp and answer 0244 21 25 01. Ubetimi nso asa frɛ wo mo. Ɛwɔ 0245 02 46 29. New Lucky Electricals. We add value to your homes.
DL News.
DLFM 106.9.
Abusia inawie mayansama wa ha ensama wa kwaba emfambra DL 106.9 FM kasafidie so enadwada area pramutobre kase bo emrewedu se agudie momranti yesinkunya na agudie monso no ensama hodo na wotwe yetwagua ya boabo ano no ye gibre ne ye besane mu edigu ode ma Ghana nsama ena nkrofo nkro so the latest any exclusives no ya boabo ani nyina no a abusia enawie ye de babesomo me amede agudie mu nsam na de ba no edi ameje so no ayensu ano de hye Okogyeabour the Blessed King yansha semfamfi yandiem Ghana na Ghana mnante esi akan ewa manoni na otwi omo atoto ntran no mo no ewo soro ne yamfo mo nsam emfa now the yansha se emfamfi English Premier League no na Bobo ko FN Everton etna fiema Bournemouth ekochombo mekamiensa omo timu mienu on the day no Ghana striker FN Antoine Semenyo na ehye first goal edima Bobo ko a ye FN Bournemouth on the 87th minute omutumi to aso ewini game no by 3-2 na this season no Abrante FN Antoine Semenyo ne form no ewo so yepa ne 3 games wabo nyina ewo English Premier League no no we involving him in a goal against Nottingham Forest Oshego Newcastle or assist and Everton so no wetumi abeto atna 3 goals involvement in 3 games this season for Bournemouth and Abrante FN Antoine Semenyo ne wonsam no a ye di atuanim Italians yanum ewo Italy no Bologna etna fie Eshebako Empoli enso Eshebako Ghanaian player ye friend Yimano Jesse ono she equalizer no edema Empoli on the 3rd minute ye de wonsam edi atuanim Isaac upon Nema wo Moldova Premier League no ne mono ye kejwa e osu ye pa Bobo kwa ye friend CS Petrocup omotna fie eni CSF Spartini Sportum ekoti obi a che ne yonko eka mienu na former Kumasi Asante Kotoko player Isaac upon AK Nema ene she 2 goals ni nyina edema Spartani Sportu on the 72nd minute or she ne first goal and 75th minute so or the second goal no eka wa we ne 3rd game a washe in 3 games a wabo ewo Moldova League no edi amabobo kwa ye fene CSF Spartini Sportua ye don come twetwe edi atu anim ye mfio ne mpiem ewo Black Princesses akachia na ene Empire ebega FIFA Women's Under-20 World Cup ekoso Colombia na group E no first game no ebo ene anwumre eye nondu ken ewo El Teco Stadium of Bogota Colombia eho ena Black Princess ene oma ye friend Austria edi ebeboania eho ensem no enti Black Princess ebo ne first game dem enti Ghana for mo bompire na makamo na AFCON 2025 ebekoso Morocco qualifies Black Stars yene Angola yawade yebebo na nedwada so no wo Niger no yene omo edi akwakoboani na coach Otuado Efre Alexander Jikun a osinakan edema Fenerbahce na so me no ka say Abrante no epra nti watonsa ade afre FC Basel a omo Switzerland omo defender ye fe no ajete Jonas se ombra na ombe replace Alexander Jikua ye de wonsam area to anim na so far players are arrival our Blasters camp no say NTM Kotoko goalkeeper Frederick Asari wedu camp dada Ibrahim Osman Eduo Jonas Ajete onu so arrival Thomas Tepate Capito Wabedu Jojo Walokot aba Antoine Semenyo aba Abdo Isaku Fatao aba and Brandon Thomas Asante onu so etumi abedu camp wenim rantia so far omo camp no no a ye de won samedi atu anim na sana mede tu anim no ya wada 5th September wo Babayara Sports Stadium 4 p.m. no Ghana ni Angola ebo na ne Juada so no enne na otwen 9 September 2024 Stade Municipal de Bekani 4 p.m. ewo Morocco no Niger enso ene Ghana de bebo a ye breaking it down ede amao na Ghana champion of champions no ekoso na otwen eye Nyoji League no Samates ene Nyoji FA Cup nso ateman ena ede boani na game no kwawie no na Samates asheba kwa nso ateman entumi anti abrantia ye fani yima no mama ena ehye sago no de ma Samates amene okase Samates ena ye champion of the champions 2024 ehun enkomo no international pre-season friendly ekoso ewo Togo esanse ho ena has abom sesia omo ye pre-season ewo na Togo under 20 ene has ebo e game no kwawie no na obi ahye ne yonko ekaba akobako wo a ehun sem no ntime no kase still na no haso folk abom sesie ewo Togo a yede nkomo yede atu omanim na omo wie no omo nua Asante Kotoko enso se has mabo a yenso ye bebo pre-season friendly ne bi na wo Cape Coast Sports Stadium no ena Asante Kotoko ani Vision LC edeboni na game no kwawie na Asante Kotoko ahye mienu ma Vision atimu ba kon abet amo na ehye 2 goals ni nyina edema Asante Kotoko ena Isa Kuka convert penalty fefefe edema Vision FC onkomo eno no na Kumasi Asante Kotoko akoto aba eyi new captain na players ni team no ato aba area ma goalkeeper Frederick Asare se ome new captain emfama Asante Kotoko ena deputy captain no eko edema Chief Justice Blay inti Kotoko new captains no Abrantia friend Frederick Asare. He will be assisted by Abrantia your friend Justice Blair and one ansem no na pre-season friendly no eguso ekokoso sanse enchebia no season be shasia Ghana Bechem United anshebi Young Apostles so all man shebi na Bechem United a confirm say officially no sanampeni for kind no kuntu se hwanya se den anachi eneko Bechem United so masa resigning omo former player your friend Augustine Okra into Augustine Okra is back again obabe sina kan area mabobo kwa your friend Bechem United yede ewon komo edi atuanim yamfa fieri nsini yemu yaketem enko piemu ewa amanone dia uwuremu a FIFA Women's Under 20 World Cup no eguso ekoso ewo Colombia na watching group A no first game result say na koye Cameroon eshemienu sanso na Mexico eshemienu na afensu Colombia eshemienu Australia omo entmianti eno ye group A omo first game no urem ewo group B na omo first game no result say na koye France eshemiensa Canada enso estimu miensa na Brazil emano under 20 omo chi Fiji 4 ebomo eka poli enkron a Fiji 4 entmianti eno so group B no omo first game result yempiem ewo group C na say ene kokoye Spain echi US bome kabako pew omo entmiante na Paraguay nsuso Morocco mo enane omo kamienu a Morocco 4 entmiante group D no say ne koye Germany eche num Venezuela etimumie no na Nigeria eche bako ema South Korea omo entmi anti nyame adomande group E ni F no games ebeba so ebo 10 pm asana makache dada no Ghana under 20 emano omone Austria edi bebweni na friends group F no ebo anaju nondu krona North Korea omo under 20 mano omone under 20 ma of Argentina edi ebebweni a ehon enkomo eno no enti inebo 10 pm Ghana obia mompa infanta Black Princess Fonechi senebe ombetuma fankunimdie na boa na bibia ye kama edi amae na wotwi uremu ewo Europa matches awdo ekoso ewo leagues awdo no na esan ye mre nti ye ntumi mfa full result no emfambre nti ye selected games big teams no omo result no ena ye de maum wo French League 1 wo France no na wotwi na ye week number 3 say ena big teams no result ekoye Lyon H Strasbourg ebo mekanan omutimu miensa Toulouse 1 Olympic Marseille 3 Monaco 1 Lens 1 and Afenso Reims 2 Rennes 1 and Leo 1 PSG 3 omutable no France PSG edikai 9 points Marseille Tosmieno omo 7 points and a third position here 9th sa omo 7 points and so ewo yenrem ewo Germany a German Bundesliga no na watchi na ye week number 2 big teams no result say that here Werder Bremen 0 Dortmund 0 Bochum 0 Borussia Borussia Mönchengladbach 2, Frankfurt 3, TSG Hoffenheim 1, Bayer Leverkusen 2, RB Leipzig 3. Into Leverkusen, omo unbeaten run Abanewie and a Bayern Munich 2, Freiburg 0. Table no FC Heidenheim omudi kan 6 points, Bayern Munich etosumienu 6 points, and a RB Leipzig etosumiensa omonso etoatoa so wosa. Yemfi eye Germany yemfo ye ninchemo ewo omaya yefen Italy na otwi na ye week number 3 na eba so na say na ekoye ye big teams no Inter Milan ehye 9 Atlanta entmiante Lazio ensoni AC Milan ekoti obi ahye ne yonko eka mienu Napoli hye mienu Parma etimu ba ko Romelu Lukaku ne first game otwatena edema Napoli na Juventus anshebi bobo ko efen AS Roma omonso anshebi Italy table no say netie Inter Milan Edikan almost 7 point. Juventus tosumienu almost 7 point. And Torino tosumiensa almost so 7 point. Yemfi Italy yemfi yeninchemo Spain. Spanish La Liga na ochi na ya match day 4. Barcelona eche Real Valladolid inkomu kuom. Omu bomeka poli and song Real Valladolid entumante. Barcelona omu form brutal. Athletic Bilbao anshebi Atletico Madrid bomeka bako. Omu entumante. Sevilla anshebi Girona bomeka mieno. And Real Madrid eshemieno Real Betis entumante. Kylian Mbappe osono ndeno wenya tie sikwemo obo 2 goals edema Real Madrid. Table no say that Barcelona dikan 12 points. Real Madrid etos mieno 8 points. And Atletico Madrid etos miensa almost so 8 points. The almighty English Premier League England match day 3 result big teams Arsenal 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 1, Leicester City 1, Aston Villa 2. West Ham United Okogyeabour Omani Emma Man City ebo meka poli miensa omo timu baako enso wo na Chelsea share baako Crystal Palace enso share baako Tottenham Hotspur enso Newcastle bo meka mienu omo timu baako na Taylor timu yi enyama nkoye mfama Taylor timu no Liverpool chi omo bo meka poli miensa omo ntumante omo to player bi anso still omo ntumi win games eno ye Liverpool 3 Man U 0 urem England na table no say that Man City dikan 3 out of 3 9 points, Liverpool 3 out of 3 9 points, omo tosmi no Brighton tosmi and omo 7 points, and Arsenal sa shoma de na CBM omo akokoda 4th position omo 7 points. And so ebusia mre ne ko enti agudiem nsem no yam fancy ebusia me amedi agudiem nsem no edibai dia me so no ayen suano de share Upper Kanjich the Blessed Kina Sojani Penny yefro Sergeant Francis Akwabwa oye director ewo Ghana Armed Forces Music School utie yempa wonfa yendi agro enti Sergeant Francis Akwabwa Sojani Penny pa Ghana Armed Forces director of music ewo omuschool mo Sergeant Francis Akwabwa na wi mayenchia oni enda wasese uguso a utie ewusi agudi mu nsem no ye de asi
DLFM 106.9. It's official. DLFM 106.9.
Ebusia yengina weso na awia yi nsam ahodo ebobo no de beso mu wose wopram tobre ekase bo no yemfa ensi ewa ha kofitela boa yende ko Facebook no eso na wonso a woje bretie yenhwe yenkyere wadwen so ye da asese o ma yakwanya ema ye besom ye so anana adwoase okay ene mpamfo besim konya na Monday's edition of DL1 womo ede atwa moso akenkanfo mienu edia mejeso gangster cat ya meeting kura Okogyeabour Ocran mene
Nhyiraba Kwadwo Sammy B
Kwadwo kan bi
Nhyiraba Kwadwo Sammy B
yada bu nyina sia wie yi ama mo nyina mo enitia wojiyen oboja
DL News.